it's interesting to do different things in life, and it keeps you on your toes and doesn't allow life to get monotonous. Hi, my name is Jaisal Singh, and I love polo. So I started riding when I was 5, and I didn't really take to show jumping. I enjoyed doing dressage and so on, but I had a lot of friends who were playing polo, obviously. Things have changed. The horsepower has changed completely. The game seems to have changed as well. It has become faster. There are some things that are different. I mean, I grew up playing a lot more conventional polo. There's a lot more tapping and turning now, which I hope will actually change back, because if you watch polo at the higher levels, you see less of that. But I think the horsepower has changed for the better. I think the popularity has gone down because there's been a perception that polo is very expensive, and of course it is. But there are many ways that polo can be subsidized. The army did it for many years. I mean, I grew up playing at the President's Estate Polo Club. I didn't have any horses of my own till I was scratch. So the first 2 handicaps I went up playing club horses, and the club maintained a very good string of polo ponies. I believe that we need more institutions like that to encourage more players to play. And the moment that happens, the popularity will automatically start to rise. So, as you know, polo in India was kept up by the army for many, many years, and civilian polo really took off in the late 1980s and then got firmly embedded from the sort of early 1990s. And so I think it did have a peak in the late 90s and early 2000s, and then I do believe that the amount of teams have shrunk, and I do hope that going forward we'll see more and more teams and more players playing in India. You're responsible as a patron for a bunch of players. It's a whole different sort of planning as well. You've got to think about all the guys, not just yourself. You've got to think of a string of polo ponies. You've also got to have a vision of what you want to do, what you want to achieve as a patron. You know, do you want to win the Indian Open, or do you want to play low goal, or do you want to play high goal? I mean, it just depends. And so the role of the patron is much more sort of all-encompassing than being a solitary pro. So I do anything overtly special or superstitious. I am very practical, so I think we have very practical conversations with the team, and of course pump them up, talk about our strengths and our weaknesses honestly, and I think that actually gives you a clear idea of what you need to be doing on the field, where you need to be improving. And of course giving them a little bit of a pep talk on the sidelines. It is obviously, you get that little itch sitting on the sidelines, and on the field it is pressure. On the field you're not really thinking about it, you're playing to the plan that you've spoken about before. What I can do sitting on the sidelines is observe whether we are playing according to plan or not, and when they come back, one does say, hey guys, you're doing this wrong or this right, do a little more of this, do a little less of that, and so that happens. But it's great fun being both on and off. It's appropriately for the occasion. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to go to play sport, wear the correct thing to play sport in. If you're going out to dinner, wear the correct thing you're going out to dinner, and even there, it depends on what the occasion is. I think dressing appropriately is my simple mantra. I don't think about it much more than that. Well, I think light-colored chinos and a blazer and a fun tie, you can't go wrong. And obviously, if you're outdoors, a hat is always good. Well, obviously animals are the common denominator, but one wild and one not wild. Horses can be wild as well, but I was brought up with animals. We always had animals at home. We had a farm, so we had animals on the farm. And I also grew up in Ranthambore, so with wild animals and tigers. So that entire thing together, I think it was just natural that I loved animals. And then I've always kept horses, and continue to, even for the 15 years that I haven't played competitive polo. I usually kept a string of ponies to play the odd game here or there, chuckers. And so I've always had horses. I think from the time from the time I was 14 or even younger, I've always had at least a horse or a couple of horses. I enjoy both. It's interesting to do different things in life, and it keeps you on your toes and doesn't allow life to get monotonous.